let's move on to what is going on in that ministry. This ministry appears to be a ministry simply created for some individuals to steal money meant for the poorest of the poor. It is the most unconscionable thing to do, to divert money meant to make life a little meaningful for the poorest of the poor in our society. You steal money meant for them. You have no heaven to go to. It's as simple as that. That is what's going on in that ministry. Now, the minister, the immediate past minister, is being investigated for 37 billion. And that's why she has a date with the EFCC. She's going nowhere. When the time comes, she will still have to face the EFCC and explain what she knows. But the focus on that ministry is yielding a lot of things. In fact, it's now showing to us that, oh, amongst themselves, they are even leaking secrets about themselves. Look at what has happened with the current Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. I'm disappointed that a woman of better education will go to the extent of writing to the Accountant General of the Federation to transfer more than 580 million naira meant for the poorest of the poor in Akwa Ibom, Lagos, and some other states, to be posted into the private account, into the account of an individual that she described as the project accountant. What is the meaning of project accountant? Hasn't that agency got its own account? I mean, this is a big scandal, because the immediate past, the national coordinator for the conditional cash transfer is being investigated, has even been suspended from her position, from her current position in this administration, because of the allegation that funds were diverted into private accounts under her watch. It's exactly the same thing that Betta Edu wanted the Accountant General to do. Thank God, because as I was preparing for this program, I saw that the Accountant General actually didn't release the money. Despite the fact that Betta Edu was trying to explain away what has happened. How do you want Nigerians to believe that it was right to move 580 million into a private account? How on earth? And you had the guts to even be explaining that, oh, it is not illegal within civil service laws. Which laws? Which law permits you to move bulk funds into private accounts from government coffers? There's no such law. No regulation permits that kind of thing to take place. In fact, it's seen as a serious procurement and fiscal malfeasance. And if we say we want to tackle corruption in our country, this sort of thing should never be allowed to happen. We will defeat corruption when we make it impossible for individuals to even go that far. Now, since she's saying it does not that it does not infringe on any law, I wonder how much she knows about our laws, because she's a medical doctor. It infringes on Public Procurement and Fiscal Responsibility Act, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Offences Act, and the Code of Conduct Act. It is also in breach of the Anti-Money Laundering Prohibition Act. So who says it was right for Betta Edu to say that she will go and move 580 million into an individual's account? The question is, that individual, if the money was moved into her account, will she pay tax on the money? Will she? How do you even monitor compliance when the money is sitting in somebody's private account? How do you do that? You can see why we have a country where an accountant general can steal about 109 billion naira. If it is so easy for bulk funds the size of 580 million, funds the size of 44 billion to be moved into private accounts. In this case, an individual, you call that an accountant in charge of the project, and that once the money is moved into account, she can then explain how the money was disbursed and all that. Nonsense. Nonsense. You can then do retirement. No. You can't move that quantum of money that was sitting in the remitter account of the agency straight into a private account. It is unlawful. Better do is lucky today that the accountant general disobeyed and refused to honor her letter. Look at what the accountant general said. In such situations, payments are usually processed by the affected militaries as self-accounting entities, and no bulk payment is supposed to be made to an individual's account in the name of project accountant. She then affirmed that such payments should be sent to the beneficiaries through their verified bank account. That is the right thing to do. So we dodged the bullet there. But the minister, having escaped a clear breach of the law by the fact that the accountant general refused to carry out the instruction from her, the president has to sit Betta Edu down and warn her that the next time this kind of infraction takes place, the next time she does this kind of thing, she'll be shown the door. This is what I expect the president to do. Otherwise, people in our administration will smear him. People in his administration will smear him, and people will say, oh, perhaps the president even knows about these things. The president must let those who work for him realize that he will not tolerate these kind of things. The president said he wants to defeat insecurity totally. I demand from the president today that he should tell his ministers and other people working with him that he wants to defeat corruption totally. We must have that mindset if we want to go far, because we can't be borrowing money and be living from hand to mouth as a country, servicing debt with more than 90% of our earnings, and some individuals will find it easy to go and steal from our resources. It has to stop, and the president must draw a line in the sand that under his watch, this will not be permitted, and that whoever tries it under his watch is going home.